Good day, I'm back once again. We'll continue with economic growth, that's chapter 35. Chapter 35. We continue with economic growth. In the last class, we talked about actual growth, which means an increase in the real GDP of an economy. But today, we're going to the other growth, which is potential growth. When we talk about potential growth, we're talking about an increase in the country's productive potential over a period of time, which measures how our economy can expand using all resources, at full capacity and full employment. So I'm going to read anyway. Potential growth, it measures the increase in the productive capacity of an economy over a year or over a period of time. This simply implies that it is the rate of expansion an economy can sustain at full capacity and employment. So for potential growth, basically we're talking about what we can reach as an economy if all resources are fully employed. That means we have reached our full capacity. For actual, it means we are not yet in our full capacity, but what we can produce within the economy, we are actually producing it using consumption, investment, government spending, and net exports. So what that will give us is about actual growth, which means we are still using our real GDP or our national output. But for potential growth, it means we have reached the full capacity, and we can use the PPF or the long run aggregate supply curve to express or to illustrate potential growth. So I wrote here, potential growth means the PPF and the LRAS of the long run aggregate supply curve are shifting to the right. So when we talk about full potential, we talk about potential growth, it means our PPF or the long run aggregate supply curve are shifting to the right of the curve. So that means shifting to the right, which means there's an increase in growth. So note, the productive potential of an economy can only increase if more factors of production can become available to an economy, or more efficient methods can be used, or we combine both. So for an economy to reach its full potential, it means more factors of production should be made available, or efficient use of resources, or the combination of both factors of production and efficiency will bring about potential growth. That is what the point is making here. So that means a combination of the two. So an increase in the potential growth doesn't necessarily mean there has been any actual growth. Additionally, actual growth doesn't necessarily mean there has been an increase in potential growth. So actual growth is different from potential growth. An increase in actual growth does not mean that, or necessarily means that there's an increase in potential growth. And an increase in potential growth does not necessarily mean that there's an increase in actual growth. So we use the PPF to illustrate what I just said now. So look at the PPF. This is a production possibility from here. We have the quantity of capital goods and the quantity of consumer goods. So here we have A, B, C, and D. So I'm going to start with actual growth. So we have the movement from A to B, B to C, or A to C. It's called actual growth. The movement from A to B, B to C is called, or A to B, or A to C is called actual growth. Why do we call it actual growth? We call it actual growth because the PPF is at the productive potential of the economy is at PPF 1. It means they can still reach PPF 2. But in as much as it's still at PPF 1, whatever happens within here is an actual growth, because the economy is not at its full potential at PPF 2. So look at what I wrote here. Assuming the economy is currently at PPF 1, the movement, the economy is here, the economy is still here. So the movement, so if the economy is there, let's say the economy is still here. So the movement from A to B, or A to B, B to C, or A to C will bring about what? Illustrate positive actual growth. So the movement is what? A positive actual growth. So when we talk about actual growth here, we're talking about movement within this area or jurisdiction, because A, B, and C, even when we look at A to B, both A, B are still below the productive potential of the economy. But whatever the case might be, but there's a movement. In as much as there's a movement, it means there's economy, that means there's a growth, a positive growth. It's positive. Moving from A to B, it is positive. Moving from B to C, it's positive. Moving from A to C, it's also positive. but it is still actual growth. It is actual growth, like I said earlier, because the PPF, the productive potential of the economy, is at PPF2. But whatever we do at PPF1 will bring about actual growth. So this is still actual growth. Now, to talk about potential growth, for potential growth to occur in this economy, it means there should be movement. It means there should be movement from C to D. So movement from C to D will bring about potential growth. So this will bring about potential growth. And for this to happen, it means the economy is at its full capacity and full employment. Look at my illustration here. For potential growth, the movement from C to D, which I just explained, the movement from C to D shows potential growth. In this case, the productive potential of the economy has increased because the economy has increased its maximum output. This is the maximum output. This is the maximum output. Has increased its maximum output. So at that point here, there's going to be a trade-off anyway, because if the economy is at the full capacity here, it means they've produced more of capital goods, investment goods, and less of consumer goods. I'm going to explain that when we're talking about trade-off. But right now, I'm just explaining potential growth, which is the movement from C to D. The movement from C to D represents potential growth. Why? Because the economy is at its full potential here. So I wrote. So this can be achieved through investment. So for an economy to achieve potential growth, it would have meant that there's more investment in capital goods. So it means the quantity of capital goods injected into the economy has increased at the expense of consumer goods. So that means there's always a conflict when we talk about production possibility frontier. So what is the conflict about? The conflict is that there's always going to be a trade-off. And why is there a trade-off between actual growth and potential growth? There's always going to be a trade-off between actual growth and potential growth, because if an economy has to increase its productive potential, which is good, for the economy to increase its productive potential, it means it has to reduce the quantity of consumer goods. So reducing the quantity of consumer goods to increase the quantity of capital goods or investment goods will bring about potential growth. That is the point there. So that means there's always going to be a trade-off. So what is the trade-off about here? It means we reduce our consumption now to increase our investment in capital goods to be able to enjoy our consumption in the future. So look at the trade-off I wrote. Trade-off. Reducing consumption now for investment will increase consumption in the future. So if we have to increase this, if we have to increase our PPF to reach potential growth here, it means we produce less of consumer goods and produce more. We produce more of capital goods, less of consumer goods. So producing more of capital goods, or we stop producing capital goods to increase here. To increase this, we have to stop producing. That means this will be at zero. We produce none of consumer goods. Producing none of consumer goods right now means that in the future we will have more to consume in terms of consumer goods. So that means there's always going to be a trade-off. Either you increase this to reduce this, or you increase this to reduce that. But for an economy to really grow, you have to make a trade-off. You have to reduce consumption now. To reach your full potential, you have to reduce consumption now to invest now in capital goods to be able to enjoy consumption in the future. Which means this will only happen also if the economy is at full potential. If the economy is at full potential here, if the economy is at full potential at PPF2, this is the potential. If the economy, that means the capacity, full capacity and employment. So this means full capacity and employment. And if the economy is at full capacity and employment, it cannot increase consumer goods to reach potential growth. For it to reach potential growth, it must increase the investment in capital goods. So that is about potential growth. And remember we said actual growth is the growth in the national income of an economy, which means the real GDP, where inflation is being adjusted. For potential growth, we're talking about the rate of expansion within an economy in terms of what we can produce when we reach full capacity and full employment. And this is the illustration. Thank you. You can make your observation or correction in the comment section. Thank you.